Hello, fellow listeners, ladies and gentlemen. I got a message from YouTube. This is not a copyright strike. This claim does not affect your account status. Blocked countries: Cuba, Iran, North Korea, Syria. Because I played the Led Zeppelin song in the reading of my screenplay book. According to, U.S. Copyright Act of 1976, should allow rebroadcast of copyrighted materials for the purpose of commentary, criticism, and education. If I have to delete it, we'll see. But for now, scene 2. Action. Led Zeppelin song goes on. Talk of songs from tones of building rays. Sounds caress my ears. Not a word I heard could I relate. Story was quite clear. Whoa. I guess I won't go on American Idol, but... Oh, yeah. We see the expedition and suburban friends drive north on the 15 freeway with the instrumental Jan Hammer over stereo. And that's the instrumental band from Miami Vice, that I like so much, if you guys haven't heard it already. Anyway, in the background, that's playing outside the Barstow, California rest area in the suburban. We see someone breaking ice on ice, just getting ready for vacation. It's San Francisco 49ers fan, former Army brat Saul, most valuable player of the after-school rugby pickup games. 49ers Saul says, "Alright, let's prove we have become adults this weekend. No fighting. Let's prove it. We're on vacation. Let's not step on the next stepping stone after brewed drinks like coffee and tea." I don't know about you all, but I'm going to take a step back for good so I always know what I'm laughing at. So let's just take a step back, have a Starbucks cold coffee brew, have a mountain, and yes, he's cut off. To 49ers Saul's surprise, Leah grabs the first soda and hands it to Brandon. In the meantime, Tyrone McDougal is our self-taught computer genius. He is co-pilot in his van that Dan is driving, and all their friends are in this vehicle. Brandon, backseat driving, finishes 49ers Saul's phrase. "Do have a seat." Leah rolls her eyes and laughs out loud. We see her hands, index fingers signaling driver Dan to go forward. We focus through the suburban windshield while moving on the road. We see the peeling out of dirt and Tyrone's eyes bulge. The suburban people glance at the rearview mirror to laugh, not including Tyrone. At that, they leave the first on race day trucks in the dust. We focus on the seat of the Ford car. Brad envisioning like Sting in the Desert Rose video with famous composer Chet Mamie. The book on Brad's lap reads Hypnosis School. We hear the stereo in the background. We return occasionally to the suburban windshield while moving on the road. We glimpse closed captioned words on the screen rolling. Hypnosis is created through an overload of message units disorganizing our critical mind's inhibitory process, triggering our primitive mind's fight-flight mechanism and ultimately resulting in a hyper-suggestible state, providing access to the subconscious mind. Everybody goes into hypnosis every day, some more than others. Those of you who missed the off-ramp you were supposed to get off on because you were thinking about something else, or self-hypnotized. Under the influence of alcohol or other drugs, you do things you wouldn't normally do. However, when hypnotized through sober means, you won't do anything you wouldn't normally do. We see Brandon and Leah waking up, hearing the Suburban arriving to a stop. They all exit to the gas station, rest stop. And through a montage, the Ford friends are already refueling at the station. Brad recognizes an amigo from work appearing out of the blue, refueling an Audi like in that commercial where the older, wiser driver cameos his future nephew, Sabrina, and says, "By the way, your wife is in there." Carlos introduces Brad to his Aunt Tia Minerva Minnie, Sochi, who always goes to Christian church, so they are equally yoked. Minerva's more beautiful than Daphne from Scooby Doo, without makeup, often wears reading glasses and is smarter than the Velmster. We hear lyrics in the background. I wanna do it like that, sugar. A familiar Keith Sweat song, I wanna. And it's much better if we just do our own commentary instead of mess with putting on the actual clip of the original artist and, copyright infringement. I guess what that's writing a book, the adventure anyway, right? So we flash forward a future date. Inside 2010 church bunco tournament. If y'all ain't never played bunco, it's like a Yahtzee, but more fun. I learned this at church. Minnie Minerva, so she turns away from what looks like a Yahtzee game in slow motion to whisper into Brad's ear. Brad, I hate to cut into your rope, but at this moment in time, I am a loser. What's your favorite way to say thanks in a foreign language? Brad, taking a bite of the Thanksgiving dinner roll. Muchas gracias. Minnie, in a conversation, do you listen or wait to talk? Brad drinks communion grape juice. I have to admit that I wait to talk, but I'm trying harder to be quick to listen and slow to speak, as it says in the book of James 1:19, that is. We see Brad and Minnie on another date at Olive Garden while the restaurant's commercial is being filmed in Spanglish. Minnie speaks with welcome voice. Aquí estás en casa. While selecting food choices, walking through the buffet, words roll on, background dinner and a movie screen. Those that remained passive, not developing either the ability to fight or flight, became extinct. These were among man's first survival instincts. There are two divisions of the autonomic nervous system. The sympathetic division is activated during the fight-flight mechanism. Brad semi waltzes with Minnie to the table. Minnie, about you being a loser, well, that's just your perception at this moment in time. Everybody's a winner. Minnie, do you know that you won the first race you were ever in? Minnie responds, you're not merely a mind reader. So how do you know I won the potato sack race against the rest of the fourth graders? We glimpse words rolling on dinner on a movie screen. The parasympathetic division would start developing balance. During sympathetic arousal, physiological changes occur, preparing us for fight-flight. After the danger has passed, the parasympathetic system would start developing balance. Fear keeps us alive. However, about 9 parts of everything we're responding to is usually internal experience, and only about 1 part of external. People are usually always responding to someone or something else internally represented, mother, father, historical event, etc. Just keep thinking about the things you are going to replace your onto one to behavior with. Originally, primitive man functioned completely by instinct. He or she did not have inhibitions. These were developed as time went on. Brad corrects. No, you were in a race before that and you won. My perception of you is that when the going gets tough, the tough get going, like you do. Minnie exemplifies. I've got it. The first race I ever won was in first grade when I hit Jen Steely with my boulder. Brad pays restaurant via self-service kiosk at their table. Brad concluding. No, Miss Minnie, the first race you ever won was when your mom got pregnant with you. It could have been any one of millions, yet it was you. We glimpse words rolling on dinner and movie screen. Some early inhibitions that developed were modesty, privacy, and sexual taboos. Man came to the increased realization that he did not have to act on every impulse that confronted him or her. He or she then started to develop conscious control. At this point, the fight mechanism started to become anxiety. She or he started to feel it in their bodies. The modern way of looking at this is reaction versus action. The flight mechanism also developed a modern way of coping. This can be seen as repression versus depression. The modern flight mechanism is depression. The modern fight mechanism is repression. Every being will always choose pleasure over pain. Unknowns represent pain to the subconscious mind. An unknown is a physical or physiological threat that has never been expressed before, so that it carries no identification. It is strange to the subconscious mind. Knowns represent pleasure. Unknown is something we have associated or identified before. Many plays along. But of course, on the eighth day of infinity, universe creator made me. B-rad reacts with a nonverbal communication with many through simultaneous smiles and eyebrow movements. After dinner, they go to the banquet hall with a sign in front that reads Stage Hypnotherapy, where they enter backstage. World traveler friend Chad Jonas believes in living life to the fullest, as one of his brothers told him before passing away too young. Todd and other high school friends enter the banquet hall with Jay in the middle of the room, wherever their friend's smoking intervention. Todd intervenes. Jay has been going back and forth to smoking a long time. He just needs the right tool to quit. Certified hypnotherapist George Greek explains, hypnotherapy is a tool. However, no friends or family members should perform any kind of therapy on other friends or family members for basically the same reason that your family doctor shouldn't really be your family doctor. Knowns may be either positive, such as eating right, or negative, such as smoking, but will be accepted because it has been experienced before. It might not be a pleasurable experience as one and abuse because that's the only way you get attention. Nevertheless, it represents pleasure because it is known. We see certified hypnotherapists Greek mirror the client, inhaling, exhaling more oxygen, passing the script that he was apparently reading from to certified hypnotherapist B-rad, who explains, I am also licensed occupational vocational board certifies clinical hypnotherapist. In other words, we have completed over a year of education and clinical residency via supervision from all the other licensed clinical hypnotherapists, along with psychologists, marriage and family therapists. Sometimes my arthritis does make me board certified stiff. Hype? No. They're pissed. Get the gist? All therapy is secondary if one doesn't become born again. Once born again, then we get to true forgiveness. There are two hemispheres of the brain connected by a series of nerve endings. The right side of the brain controls the left side of the body, while the left side of the brain controls the right side of the body. We see CHT B-rad mirror the client, inhaling, exhaling more oxygen, passing the script he's apparently reading from to friend, brother, military Donato Pininfarina. Donato reads aloud. The right brain excels in unfocused searches for meaning. It distinguishes between emotions and adapts to unknowns. This is the creative artistic portion of the brain. The left brain is logical. It reasons and analyzes more than the right side. It tends to do things in sequences or steps. Certified hypnotherapist B-rad teaches in his own words. Now don't get a hypnotist confused with hypnotherapist. A hypnotist usually just wants to be the life of the party, making you want to cluck like a chicken. Hypnosis is really free will of what you chose to focus on. Positively, the greatest hypnotherapist relationship is Jesus Christ, Holy Bible, good moral spirit, who shows us joy on our true journey if we believe. We glimpse words on banquet hall rolling. Heterohypnosis is a hypnotic state that is created by another person. Self-hypnosis is a hypnotic state that is self-created. Sleep is a state during which you are unconscious of what is going on. Hypnosis is a state in which you are consciously aware of what is happening around you. Another important difference is that during the sleep state, we do not learn. And that was not stat, right? As I go through this with y'all, you help me with final revisions. Oh, we don't want 70% though. 150. Alright. Let's see if this is that's probably good enough for now. Alright, thank y'all. You're getting a free book. Audio book. Thanks for hanging in with me. Amateur status. Reading my book. When the infant is first brought into the world, he or she doesn't have the logic, reason, or the inhibitory process. To make their needs known, the child uses more primitive mechanisms. The child has a primitive mind. Included in the primitive mind are the fight-flight mechanisms. As the child grows, it develops the inhibitory process. How does the baby learn? There are only two fears the baby is born with: the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. Everything else is learned by association and identification. From age 0 to approximately age 8, the child develops a library of these associations and identifications. He or she learns that some of these are bad, negative, and some of these are good, positive. These positive and negative associations form what is referred to as our life script. This life script is formed from our knowns. It does not yet know good from bad or right from wrong. It is only aware of the knowns. Between the ages of approximately 8 and 12, we start to develop logic and reason. We are capable of making decisions and developing willpower. Minnie teaches in her own words. They are mental bank launderers at the client's request, of course, which today, without further ado, is Jay. We glimpse words on screen rolling. Oh, forgive me, folks. Might have to record this again, but so far, y'all are with me. The words on screen rolling are: this becomes our conscious mind that represents 12% of our brain. The subconscious mind is made up of the remaining 80% of our total mind power. The critical area of the mind separates these two areas and protects us from unknowns. It acts as a filter between the two. If it were not for this filtering mechanism, we would have no protection from the vast number of message units coming in. All the inputs sent to the brain by the environment, the physical body, the conscious and the subconscious minds are message units. When too many message units are received as in a life-threatening emergency, a state of anxiety results. Probably the most influential source of message units is the self-talk, your subconscious mind. When we have received an overload of messages, the critical mind is unable to process all the message units, which brings on a state of hypnosis. When we become overloaded, the subconscious takes over and will deal with knowns. The longer you stay in overload, the more disorganized the inhibitory process becomes. B-rad, metaphorically speaking, says, suppose you get a long removed from your doctor, who is also your cousin Vinny, who removes the raw lung. Don't you think cousin Vinny would be on pins and needles around his family for the rest of his life? A beautiful lady looking like the years have treated her well enters stage right out of the blue. She is Brad's mom, Barbara Blues. We see the background turn into a calm golf course. Mom explains, alright, since Jay and CHT Greek are only acquaintances, the client-therapist relationship is ideal. Jay can be hypnotized to become an ex-smoker. Flash fade in Brad's dad, Louis Blues. Teeing up his golf ball is caddy Howie Mandel from America's Got Talent. Louis Blues drives the ball 400 yards straight to the green, while we hear an old school rap song being sung. Okay, I had the clips queued up, but since copyright, we might as well just give our take on it anyway, right? I guess we're supposed to be mimicking voices anyway. This will help me with later commentary. So anyway, Minnie says she's singing the Real Roxanne's karaoke lyrics. Howie's teeter, whoa, whoa. How is teed off? I'm the real Roxanne, Roxanne. Brad raps the lyrics. I want to be your man. Y'all haven't heard the song, then Google it. It's a classic of the 80s hip hop. The best. Never could be duplicated. UTFO. Anyway. We've seen a improving smile as well from Brad's mom before and after their terrific golf while driving. Dad comments, "What a terrific drive, folks. It's a hole in one." We see Dad and Mom joyfully dancing like at Cousin Dave and Laura's wedding as we hear Will Smith's song, "Getting Jiggy with It." Na 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 na. Seeing Jay propping his seat back, Mr. Greek then motions for him to prop it back up. Alright, yeah. Okay, CHC Brad, I'll continue explaining the hypnosis recipe while CHC Greek will perform the hypnotherapy. Just as simple as Pizza Hut. Eating good in the neighborhood, capiche? Jay, humbly enthusiastic, responds, "Si, comprende, I think." CHC Greek reveals a blank piece of paper from nowhere and sets it into Jay's view, drawing a big circle on it. CHC Brad, reciting from script. Since the subconscious is 7 to 8 times stronger than the conscious mind, we do not function logically in a state of overload. We become anxious, which leads to the state of depression. Out of the blue, we see Brad's 2-year older sister, Brenda, reading from cue cards being held by their Uncle Tom. Brenda, smiling, raising hands often. The hypnotist, in much the same way as the environment, creates hypnosis. The hypnotist creates a state of anxiety leading to hypnosis. It is not created by a state of relaxation. Changes that occur as a result of the fight mechanism are changes in breathing, dryness of lips and throat, and rapid eye movement. We see Brenda point to Donato to read from Uncle Tom's cue cards. Donato, read from the karaoke prompter and try not to smile. Donato, smiling, raising hands often. Once in hypnosis, the flight mechanism takes over. Breathing becomes shallow, and the body becomes more relaxed. Suggestibility can be defined as the manner in which an individual receives and interprets input, i.e. message units, or how she or he was communicated with from infancy to adulthood. Meantime, we see Jay sitting in a dinner chair in the middle of the banquet hall, raising his hands with rapid eye movement, as if he's about to go into deep sleep. CHT Greek points to the circle. This is your brain. Jay wakes up to explain the drawn circle. Oh, what? A piece of paper? CHT Greek, shrewdly serious, replies, for now. Dad reads aloud. The physical suggestible individual learns literally and indirectly, but speaks in metaphors and inferences.